little bit later is going to bring up a couple of little questions or a couple of thoughts that exist on him. But what is the general consensus on him going in? Because I feel like the momentum surrounding Zach Wilson has been remarkable these last few weeks.
Yeah, it always happens, Green, this time of year. Remember Rick Meyer drew Bledsoe. Bledsoe was the guy, and then Rick Meyer got some play. You think about Peyton Manning with Ryan Leaf. You think about Andrew Luck with RG3. There's always going to be somebody out there who wants to nitpick and say, well, this guy could be a little better than the guy everybody's saying is the lock, stock, and barrel #1 guy. All I'll say is, Greeny, in 43 years of doing this, John Elway's the highest-rated quarterback I've ever had. Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, Trevor Lawrence will be fourth in that list of a gazillion quarterbacks that have been rated. So if he's not great, it'll be a huge, huge shock.
Wow, that is interesting, Dan. And you're that level of high on him as well. I know you have some thoughts on this as well.
Yeah, I think that Trevor Lawrence is Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and Matthew Stafford kind of balled up into one. I think that his brain is Peyton Manning-like. You watch him kind of operate the line of scrimmage at Clemson, you go, this dude, both in the run and the pass game, thinks next level. And then with the talent of Andrew Luck and Matthew Stafford, the great thing about Trevor Lawrence is his foundation fundamentally is elite, Greeny. It's elite. Now, the really interesting thing is guys who are built like that have great fundamentals, usually need to, because they don't have great talent. They have to have great fundamentals to overcome the lack of talent. This guy's got #1 talent as well. So we're talking elite fundamentals, which matter, combined with elite talent. He's going to be a rock star. He's going to be an absolute stud. He is not even close. There's no one close to Trevor Lawrence in the draft when it comes to the quarterback position.
And then, Diana, let me wrap it with you here as far as the wheeling and dealing end of all of this. Mel is finally, and Mel, can I tell you, it is so exciting as one who has followed you all these years to see you projecting trades in this for the first time. It adds a new element of fun to the draft.
There we go. Brady, I'm finally a senior draft analyst. So once I became senior, I decided to make some trades.
There we go.
Finally
Something happened in 2020 is weird for everyone. It even made Mel a little weird. Soon he's going to be having apple pie instead of pumpkin pie every morning, Mel. But look, I love listening to all the different views and the conversation about all the different quarterbacks. But I feel like if we're going to close this segment out, I just want to close it with the Houston Texans are not trading Deshaun Watson.
Will you say that again? Mean that they are not trading him soon, or they genuinely believe they're not trading him and he will continue to play for them?
The belief in that building is they can fix this, and this is going to happen, and he's going to stay in Houston.
Okay, I'm going to leave that there for the moment. Dan, I see the look on your face. I think we all share it. Canty is shaking his head over here. We will come back at that in a moment. We have much more as we go, and Mel will rejoin us as well. But we have not yet gotten to the game of the night, the matchup of the night out west. The Jazz trying to prove to everyone they're really that good against LeBron's Lakers. Second quarter, Jazz have already opened a 10-point lead, and Mike Conley's looking for more. He was 4 of 6 from 3, 14 points, Jazz up 13. LeBron had sort of a quiet night, but this one was loud. Going up and throwing it down. Look at Rudy Gobert getting out of the way. No reason to get in front of that. LeBron, however, had just 19 because this night belonged to Utah. Jordan Clarkson, 18 points off the bench. Jazz made 14 threes in the first half and were running away and hiding and never looked back. Third quarter, Jazz are up 20, and Donovan Mitchell is playing free safety. He's got the interception, and then he's got the lob to Rudy Gobert. Take another look at this. Spida is there. Gobert's going to throw it down. He had 18. The Jazz have a 22-point lead. Still in the third quarter. How about a spectacular dunk? You want one of those? Bam, says Donovan Mitchell. Quiet night for him, just 4 of 16, but that one was spectacular. Jazz beat the Lakers, making a statement, 114 to 89. LeBron James, what?
It's a tough stretch for us, but if this won't define who we will be for the rest of the season and for the long haul, that's for sure.
Of course, we're gonna make the playoffs. I would say, our whole preparation is preparing for the playoffs. We see the Jazz. We know they beat our ass tonight, but in the playoffs, it's a different story.
We will see one way or another. Right now, the Lakers have other problems, which is to say they're not playing well. They've lost 4 straight, their longest losing streak since December of 19. They're 5-5 without Anthony Davis this year. We should point out Dennis Schroeder has also missed these 4 games. One way or another, though, the Lakers are struggling. They'll try and get things right as they continue. Meanwhile, we have an NBA Friday doubleheader that will include them We'll start the night with the Pacers and the Celtics. They square off at 7:30 Eastern time, and then you will see LeBron's Lakers try to get back on the winning side as they host Dame Lillard and Portland. Our coverage to start was NBA Countdown, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Meanwhile, as we continue, a couple of people here took aim at Dan Orlovsky's feelings for Carson Wentz yesterday. We will let Dan fire back as we continue next. It's Get Up on ESPN.
You know what beats next day shipping? Getting it the same day. So shop Ace online and get free in-store or curbside pickup right in your neighborhood. Or get what you need delivered the very same day you order.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Sometimes the smallest gestures can be the most refreshing. Give extra, get extra.
Bolt 24, keeping it real with Sarita.
If you've never worn a catsuit to work, you really should. And if you've never tried Bolt 24 Restore with 10 grams of collagen, you really should.
All right. Bolt 24.
The new Detroit style from Pizza Hut, where the sauce goes on last. Yeah, you heard me. Last. That's what keeps the crust light and airy. It's kind of blowing my mind right now. Try the new Detroit style today. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Out here, you're a landowner, a gardener, a landscaper, and a hunter. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
Weird. Come on. Great. You for real? So maybe just a cable?
We can help you.
Welcome to America's #1 battery destination, AutoZone, your battery solution.
Feel the clarity of non-drowsy Claritin and 24-hour relief from symptoms caused by over 200 indoor and outdoor allergens. Try Claritin Cool Mint Chewables for powerful allergy relief plus a cooling sensation. Live Claritin Clear.
Gosh it, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip Hop Group Tag Team to help you plan dessert?
Fresh vanilla, rocky road, chocolate, peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
Available interior work surface to work it out up front, plus the capability of available Pro Power on board to work it out in back. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Introducing the all-new 2021 Ford F-150.
Listen, I don't want to have this much fun, but the rivers need me.
You think we want to sit around all day playing video games? No. But I'm doing it for the rivers.
For the rivers. Drink a Coors Hard Seltzer, help save a river. Each pack restores 500 gallons of river water.
IHOP has new breakfast burritos and bowls with 6 tasty options starting at $5.99, and you can get them to go. Do you need a burrito? Yeah. Coming in hot. It is hot.
New burritos and bowls starting at $5.99 at IHOP.
The 5G Google Pixel is amazing at streaming videos. For example, take this stream here. See how smooth it is? Just a smooth 5G stream. The 5G Google Pixel from $4.99.
PNC Bank believes that if you can get a pair of goggles that helps with your backhand, then you should be able to get a bank account that helps with your budget. Virtual wallet for digital banking. One way we're helping to make a difference at PNC Bank.
Update your space with Macy's President's Day furniture and mattress specials, like the Radley Shea sectional for $1,879 and the Monroe Queen bed now $279. Plus, get a free adjustable base or box spring with qualifying purchase. Now at Macy's.
It's NBA on ABC time. Mavs, Nets, Clippers, Bucks on ABC.
Get Up is brought to you by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. And by Pizza Hut. Order today at pizzahut.com. All right, Dan Orlovsky, you're a pretty good athlete in your day. I want you to watch Myles Garrett playing basketball. You tell me, what are you going to do with this guy on the defensive end of the floor?
He go get a free pass to the lane, Greeny. Like, if someone else got fouls, where's my help defense? Watching this, it makes me think of, how did God create me, who looks like me, and create that, who looks like that? How are we the same? Like, where did I go wrong?
As we continue, Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson will go 1-2. What makes them different from everybody else? We'll get that answer. And a little sneaky Hembo time. And this one's for Mel. Mel has 9 offensive players going in a row to start this year's draft. The question is, which draft had the most consecutive offensive players to begin round 1? That's the question. We'll see if he gets the answer right. Next, Get Up on ESPN.
How great is it that we get to tell everybody how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need? I mean, sorry. Oh, what? I'm an emu! No, buddy. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Reese's eggs are back and we hit them somewhere you'll never find. Psych! We put them everywhere. Grocery stores and supermarkets, gas stations and chiropractors' offices, bowling alleys and grocery stores, which we already mentioned. Not sorry, Reese's.
Welcome to the next level.
This phone paired with 5G ultra wideband. Wow.
The new Samsung Galaxy S21 is here, and it's on Verizon 5G ultra wideband, the fastest 5G in the world. Available in parts of many cities.
It's not just a great network.
It's ridiculously fast.
Stream your favorite shows in ultra HD.
I'm so excited about this. Streaming is crystal clear.
Select unlimited plans, get the Disney bundle included, and Discovery Plus on us.
Yes.
Buy Samsung Galaxy S21 plus 5G. Get one on us. Only on Verizon.
Don't you fight it till you try to do that conga me. Dice muévete un poquito, hace trae otro mojito. Got Bacardi, it's a party, everybody move your body. Vamos, shake your body, baby, do that conga me. We make it easy for you. You can do your taxes virtually. Snap a pic and leave the rest to me. We make it easy. Experts on your phone, you don't have to leave home. In person or virtually, Bob has your back.
The world around you may seem like an immovable, implacable place. It is not. It can be bright, quiet, and safe. It's a change that'll be felt from this street to no street, and everywhere in between. All it takes is the slightest push in just the right place, and that will be the tipping point that changes everything.
Hulu has live sports. Hulu.
Damn, that was dope. But it's Hulu doesn't just have live sports.
I don't know, man.
We can make that work, right?
Hulu doesn't just have live sports, it's a lifestyle.
Oh, this is a mouth-watering Marco's Pizza. And this is a new build-your-own pizza bowl with no crust and up to 4 toppings for $7.99. Oh yeah, that looks good. Marco's, pizza lovers get it.
Oh man, can't wait to tell everyone about AT&T 5G.
AT&T has nationwide 5G?
Yep.
And that's faster?
Faster, yeah.
But is it reliable?
Uh-huh, and secure.
Wow. You all should consider making a big deal about it.
I thought I was already making a pretty big...
Bigger!
Yeah, I should have gotten the bigger sign.
It's not complicated. AT&T 5G is fast, reliable, and secure. Plus, it's included on our best plans.
For every person who is the first to make a way, there are millions more ready to follow in their footsteps. Because we know they won't be the last.
Please don't shine all the light on us. We
back on Get Up. And Mel, here we go. Hembo's got a question for you. You have 9 straight offensive players going off the board to start this year's draft in your mock draft. Which draft had the most consecutive offensive players to begin round 1?
Greeny, nothing I hate more than trivia. My father always said it's trivia, it's trivial, short for trivial, which means who cares. If my father said, why waste time with something, look it up. So I'm not a trivia fan. I don't like games. I don't play games. And trivia, if you want to take it as a game, have fun with it, fine. But I could care less about trivia.
You know what? That's right. I'm giving you the correct answer. I'm saying it's right. For the record, it was 1999 when the first defensive player didn't go off the board till number 7. That was the year that Couch, McNabb, and Achilles Smith all went off the board to start, the 3 different quarterbacks. But you know what, Hembo? I'm accepting that as a correct answer, if only because I loved it, and judging from the reaction in my ear, everyone in the control room loved it as well. Meanwhile, let's go back to what Mel does for a living, and that is projecting these quarterbacks. He has got his latest mock draft 2.0 up on ESPN Plus right now, projecting trades for the first time ever, and this is how he sees it going. Again, a trade right up near the top, with the Falcons moving up a few spots with the Jets to take Zach Wilson, the quarterback, and then you see the other quarterbacks in there with Justin Fields at 7, Mac Jones at 8, and Trey Lance at 9. The ones that are highlighted are the ones that we see in the form of trades. So Mel, I want to come back to you and the whole group here, and let's sort of pin down one point. And let's use 2 quarterbacks in this draft as an example. Mac Jones and Justin Fields. They played each other in the national championship game, so we all got to see them. Justin Fields, it feels like, is what the NFL is becoming. He's the dynamic threat. He can run. He can do all those different things. Mac Jones is what the NFL was 20 years ago. How important is that? As teams are making their evaluations right now, how important a factor is that in where these guys are going to get drafted now and into the future?
Yeah, the dual threat quarterback is obviously what you want, Greeny, and people forget how great Justin Fields was in 2019 in a normal year. Okay, Olave broke that route off. It was an interception in the end zone. It wasn't on Fields. Okay, you think about this year. He didn't have Olave against Northwestern. He did struggled against Indiana, but it was an interrupted season, anything but a normal season. Played great against Trevor Lawrence in that semifinal game. So I think when you look back at 2019, people just don't realize how special Justin Fields was. He's going to run probably 4.4, 4.45. He's got all the tools, all the ability you want. He's a tremendous competitor, loves the game, studies the game. So this notion that Justin Fields is somewhere in the late first, early second round, of people say, well, he didn't play like a first rounder, he's overrated. Go back, look at 2019, and you will see a guy should have been in line to maybe be the number 1 pick overall. He's right there with Trevor coming out of high school. Even in going into this year was kind of 1 and 1A. Justin Fields, because of what happened this year, hasn't dropped all the way down like some people may lead you to believe.
Talk about him, Danny, because he's a fascinating one. I agree. He's one who began the season maybe competing for the number 1 pick, and now we see where he falls.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Mel said. Coming on shows because we could break stupid narratives. So a lot of the things that have been said about Justin Fields is like really struggles to process. No, he doesn't, guys. Watch tape. Okay, the biggest jump that he's going to have to take from college to the NFL is covered in college. Guys that are covered in college are guys that are open. He's going to have to build the comfort level of going, okay, that guy's covered in college, but shoot, that 1 foot of separation is wide open in the NFL. And so having the confidence of letting the ball go on a consistent basis in that realm is where he's going to have to make that jump. But we're talking about a guy that is exactly, if you're talking about all the traits physically and mentally that you want in a quarterback, Justin Fields has that. The only thing that I would say is he's deliberate. He's very deliberate with his feet, with his thought process, with his eyes, where he wants to go with the football. That will get sped up when he gets to the NFL. But the biggest development that he's going to have to make is realizing, okay, that guy that I didn't want to throw in college because he was covered, I have to because it's the NFL. And if you think he can get there, he's got all the talent in the world to be a stud at the position.
Now, Chris Canty, you made your living making life miserable for guys like those. How important a factor is that mobility in pro football circa 2021?
Well, it's huge. I mean, this is the thing. You don't want to prepare for a quarterback that can use his legs to get out of trouble because he can extend it down. He can put pressure on the defense in ways that a pure pocket passer can't. But to Dan's point, with Justin Fields, it's going to come down to Can he throw with anticipation in the NFL? You can't wait until you see it and then execute the throw. You've got to be able to throw with the anticipation that the scheme is going to create that void in order to hit your receiver. So I think that's one of the things that we have to watch for with Justin Fields.
Meantime, Diana, let me come to you on another one of these picks. Well, go ahead.
Now, what I want to say is to Chris's point with Dan was saying, you got to throw in anticipation. He has to see guys open. I heard the same thing about Josh Allen, heard the same thing about Justin Herbert. It's a scout's job to project. So scouts are critiquing Fields on what they should be doing and they're not doing. If they got to see it, then they're not a scout that I want. And they got to scout with anticipation. They got to project what a player will be. They didn't do it with Josh Allen, because I heard the same criticism. They didn't do it with Justin. Oh, Tua's more NFL ready. Tua throws with better anticipation. Sam Darnold, the great one now, right? Everybody hates Sam Darnold. He threw with better anticipation. He was better than Josh Allen, who everybody was hating on at this same stage of that draft process. So I heard it with Josh, Justin, and now Justin. What's it with the J's? Josh, Justin, and now Justin. Nobody seems to like coming through the draft process because they don't throw with anticipation. Scout with anticipation. That might help these guys make better decisions long term.
Find yourself someone who cares about their job the way Mel Kiper cares about his. Diana, let me come to you quickly on one other topic here, because Mel does have the Niners moving up to take a quarterback. Now, their general manager, John Lynch, just yesterday in an interview said, Jimmy Garoppolo, I expect him to be our quarterback next year. So what gives in San Francisco?
Yeah, that's probably the boldest statement we've heard from John Lynch, but you could really play around with all the wording that they've used every single time they talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. And it's still not the thing you want to hear if you want Jimmy Garoppolo staying in San Francisco, and that's, he is our guy. He's going nowhere. We are invested in him. We can win with Jimmy. You never hear that, because look at it this way. John Lynch can just go back after the draft, or if they decide to move on from Jimmy, and say, yeah, we changed our minds. No one's going to hold his feet to the fire on this. They don't need to. So the 49ers here from I think we can all, it's been made very clear. They're not in love with Jimmy Garoppolo. So the table is always open for them to make decisions.
Okay, so we will see. So there's still a lot of pieces that are yet to be fit into this jigsaw puzzle before we get to draft night. All right, next order of business. Dan Orlovsky, you were not here to defend yourself yesterday when Dominique Foxworth and Marcus Spears, I thought, took unfair shots at you. For those who may have missed it, this is what they said.
I stand here on behalf of Dan Orlovsky leading this fan club. Carson Wentz is going to ball out.
When your sentence starts with, I agree with Dan Orlovsky, you're wrong.
Did he forget how to play because he had one bad year?
It looked like it. Like the worst quarterback in the league last year. Now you talk about he about to be MVP level? Woo, that is some Dan Orlovsky level nonsense.
You and Dan Orlovsky gonna say he gonna be the MVP or he gonna be in that conversation? Please, stop it.
So, we have a rule on this show. Our members of our family, of which Dan Orlovsky, you are an original member of this family. Nothing like that can be said of you without you getting the chance to respond. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
First of all, the last time I was on television with Dominique Foxworth, which was a little bit over 2 weeks ago, he literally used the words, I agree with Dan on this. So you just called yourself a dummy. Dom, second of all, hate and jealousy look bad on Marcus Spears and Dominique Foxworth. Does it remind those guys of some kid from their past that they couldn't get better than or something like that? And then a good general manager, and both those dudes that are going to speak glowingly of Frank Reich as a coach, they agree with me. They gave up a first-round pick hoping that he plays really good, not hoping that he plays really bad. So those guys may need to reassess their thought process, because at the end of the day, the general manager and the head coach sided with me and not with them. Jealousy and hate looks bad on both those guys. I'm glad that I got people like Diana on today's show that is and class, and a guy like Chris Canty, who just so happens to be another Baltimore Ravens defensive lineman that I have to do TV with. But at least Chris has got class and integrity and thoughtful responses instead of just built up anger from their past at Carson Wentz and myself. I'll end it with this.
Agreed with you.
From the years of 2017 to the years of 2019, there was only 2 quarterbacks in the NFL that threw for more than 20 touchdowns and less than 20 picks. One is Drew Brees. The other is Carson Wentz. So those guys can hate all they want. The results are what they are.
Yeah. And for the record, the other one who agreed with you was Torrey Smith, who was his teammate, the guy who was actually there and played with Carson Wentz. Chris, let me come to you. What is Wentz going to be this year in Indianapolis on that team with that coach? What's he going to be?
I think he's going to be a top 10 to 12 quarterback. If you look at the Colts last year, I mean, they had the talent to be able to support Phillip Rivers, a quarterback who was middle of the road. Rivers finished 19th in QBR. So Wentz certainly presents a lot more upside. The Colts have a top 10 offense, a top 10 defense, so it's all set up for them to have success. Sacks and picks, and he only played in 12 games. So certainly there's some work that has to be done. Frank Reich, Press Taylor, they got to get him back right. But the potential is there for Carson Wentz to be a top 10, 12 quarterback next season.
Diana, what are the people around the league saying now that the trade's about a week old?
Yeah, first off, Greeny, when Orlovsky's singing my praises, try to tell Pete behind the scenes there, don't be giving him a rap. I want to keep hearing all those glowing reviews. I've had some horrible takes on this show. I need some build-up. My confidence is really low. But here's what I can tell you. Look, I had Tampa Bay Bucks not even making the playoffs. I'm going to live with that one. That's going to be put on my grave one day. But look, the Carson Wentz situation in Indy, first thing I did was called around to players and coaches in that division to just get a sense, because I feel like none of us really know who Carson is. Is this a good move? Will this marriage of Frank Reich work the second time? And I got a very similar sentiment from a lot of different people, which is if he can get his confidence back, Carson's is in his head. And it was also pointed out to me that look at this Colts offense. The run game has really become their strength. If Carson can go in there and just manage this, they're not going to make him ask to do too much. Just don't turn the ball over, and he can be successful in Indy. So I'm with Dan on that, just not as in love.
We'll see where it goes. We'll take a short break on that thought. Much more quarterback conversation as we continue. There's another one people are questioning, and that is Ben Roethlisberger. Seems as if the Steelers will keep their legend, but is keeping Big Ben actually in the team's best interest? We'll answer that question right after this. It's Get Up on ESPN.
I feel bad for kicking your seat on purpose.
I'm sorry for mansplaining. That's when a man...
I know what it is. We should have just told you it's a boy.
I wish you didn't have to hear all that.
Sorry I called you Karen.
That's my name.
Sorry your name is Karen.
I promise I will not eat any more of your friends.
Really?
Okay, it might happen one more time.
All you have to do is dish a drink, and your taste buds.
Sounds like happiness. So many feels. All the feels.
You do the shimmy when it meets expectations, and the head nod is I'm perfectly satisfied.
Sonic Ultimate Drink Stop.
What customizes your home insurance? Here's something you shouldn't try at home. Insurance is cool. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
For the first time since 2002, the Tampa Bay Bucks film of their historic championship run.
Where do we go, buddy? Look what we do.
Oh, what a great Own the Super Bowl 55 Champions film March 23rd on Blu-ray and digital.
Somehow,
alone. Trapped by illusion. We offer a no one can take away what it means to be among the few.
Citrus Sweet, brewed with real tangerine peel, only 95 calories. Welcome to the light side.
Are we going to do one thing? We need milk!
In the power making space for everyone. Stay close. We believe in always taking care.
Lark Monster tried Popeye's new Cajun flounder sandwich and couldn't get enough.
Oh wow, that is really good. The bun is really soft. It's very crispy. It actually makes me want to jump for joy.
Get our new Cajun flounder sandwich today for just $4.49.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 259. Saturday, March 6th, a stacked fight. Versus Anderson.
This is the GOAT!
And Jan versus Sterling. Including exclusive fights and original content. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
We're back on 2021 cap number is currently over $41 million. So they're going to have to do something. But here's what the president of the team, Art Rooney, said yesterday, quote, Ben and I met yesterday morning at a productive meeting, able to discuss a lot of things that relate to where we want to go. Ben assured me he's committed to come back to help us win. I told him we'd like to have him back to help us win. We both understand the next step is to work out the contract situation. So that's the easy part. Now we get to the hard part. How do they do it? Diana, how do they do it?
Yeah, it's a salary cap nightmare for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is why they're probably most likely not even using a franchise tag. They just don't have the money. So Ben's going to restructure. And I was told this is how. And what they'll wind up doing is lowering who still wants to stay in Pittsburgh. They've got free agents they want to keep there. They need that money. And it seems if Ben's willing to restructure and willing to play ball, this can obviously be.
Roethlisberger coming back. Dan, I know you put together some tape. Show us what we're looking at.
So the question, Greeny, is can Big Ben play the talent in the quarterback at winning? He realizes, okay, I'm going to hold that single high safety. Then I'm going to hitch up and get back to that post. I've got locked vision on it. This ball leaves from the 44. Quarters defense, he's got one-on-one essentially up top. Hold vision on that safety. He's got the double move, the slant and go. And now can you make the perfect throw on the go route? Lead this comeback. Replacing seam. Quarters defense, experience plus talent. He knows that that safety's got to drive that in route, so he pumps it. And then he's going to find. He still has to make a perfect throw. Still able to do it. So is Big Ben good enough to play winning football still? Absolutely. Is Big Ben good enough to play winning football in Pittsburgh? Absolutely not. Pittsburgh asked Big Ben to carry them last year offensively. He's not that player anymore, Pittsburgh. So what are you going to do differently? How are you going to rebuild your offensive line in one offseason? Where's your run game going to come from? Is Juju actually going to come back? So if he comes back, he has to take lesser money because they have to support him. They can't ask Big Ben to play catch and throw football like they did last year. Look at the older quarterbacks that are playing well. Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. It is a complementary football team where they'll put Big Ben back under center. They'll lean and rely on a good run game. Doesn't have to be great, a good run game, and allow his experience plus a still talented body to lead them to play good winning football. But until they do that, they did last year, they will not go to the playoffs. But if they bring him back at a lesser money and put good players around him and protect him, he's still good enough.
I feel like what you're saying, and I'm glad you're saying it because I think someone needed to, is when you make a list of the things that went wrong for the Steelers last year after they started 11-0, Ben would be low on that list. They didn't have a bad running game. They stopped running the ball at all. They had a ton of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, and their offensive line was banged up. So is Roethlisberger what he was 10 years ago? Obviously not. But I don't think he was the problem last year. That doesn't necessarily mean, however, that with the Steelers where they are, to Dan's point, maybe not that good a team from top to bottom, that the right answer is bringing back a quarterback.
The biggest problem in Pittsburgh last year, but Ben Roethlisberger used to be a quarterback that was capable of overcoming the issues that were around him and elevating the talent level. He can't do that anymore. He's not that kind of quarterback. It feels like they're just kicking the can down the road, and I'm not necessarily in line with that for a quarterback that doesn't make some potential core guys that they would like to hang on to.
I get it, but here's the question. And Diana, I guess I'll start with you on this. It's easy to say they should move on.
That's part of the equation here, which is why Mike Tomlin, their head coach, and their owner wanted to have Ben come back. They still think he can play. And guys, we just all talked about it. So much of their success is because of Ben. He is a force multiplier. It's something Mike Tannenbaum, his favorite word to use. He makes everybody around him better. You know, there's not a lot of. He still has a lot of growing to do, as we've seen, and in terms of understanding the offense. So they can't rely.
Interesting name to bring up. That video you just saw was Dwayne Haskins, who less than 2 calendar years ago was a high first-round draft pick in the National Football League. So maybe, Dan, the answer is him a year down the road. Let him sit there a year. Let him learn behind outstanding coaching and an outstanding legendary quarterback. Any chance you see that being the reclamation project and the ultimate answer?
If he loves playing in the NFL, yes. That's the question. Does he love playing in the NFL, or does he love being in the NFL? Two very different things, and Chris knows that. A lot of guys this offseason and prove to the Steelers that I want to play in the NFL. And if that's the case, then they may strike gold. They may make that acquisition that, you know, solves their quarterback needs for the future. This is also amazing because they had to bring Big Ben back because the options to win this year, they need to go get an impactful player this year in the first round. So they're not in a great situation forward.
I'm with that. We'll see. We'll see what winds up happening with this legacy franchise that never has a losing year. Meanwhile, we've got a great Big Ten college basketball doubleheader for you tonight. The conference is just loaded. Number 3 Michigan is the best team. They're sitting at the top there, and they will host Luka Garza and number 9 Iowa tonight. 7 Eastern to get into the dance. Great games tonight on ESPN and the ESPN app. All right, coming up, back to Mel's mock draft. Why are so many quarterbacks coveted and willing to make
to get value like nowhere else. Your way, way better.
Weird. Come on. Great.
Destination. AutoZone, your battery solution.
DiGiorno has 7 delicious crusts, and your family food critics will rave. Croissant crust is flaky layers of buttery bliss. Rising crust is fresh baked deliciousness. There's a 5-star pizza for everyone in your family to love. It's not delivery, it's
plus the capability of available Pro Power on board to work it out in.
An app that lets you deposit checks and transfer money anytime, anywhere.
I'll take Barkley.
Yes, I still got it.
Savings accounts? Is it really even a
to the flexibility to handle whatever Monday has in store and tackle 4th day app and said,
I've got this.
USAA Insurance has made the way.
Stadiums, offices, banks, childcare centers, and schools.
So look for the Well Health Safety Seal outside and feel more confident going inside.
on March 5th.
How did this work?
Illinois is a team playing its best.
There's the history that has been made, and there's the history, and there are the people ready to build upon those legacies, to follow in those footsteps. The last. Please don't shine all the light on us. We don't really need
achievement. I question if I deserve it. It's a battle with an invisible opponent. Train what's under the armor.
Lift it.
Historically black colleges and universities. Hall of Famer Deion Sanders became head football coach at Jackson State. Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets.
And with that, we welcome you back to our studios here. This is Get Up on ESPN. We come to you live every morning from the This morning, we're talking about the big NBA in the mob. Mel unveiling his latest predictions live. But we've got trouble for LeBron's Lakers. Wait till you see what happened to them last night. You will. Trades, and he's got a big one. You and the Jets, then picking fourth. Has the 49ers coming up. He's got those trades, and he has 5 quarterbacks off the board in the top 9 picks. You see Trevor Lawrence right there at the top. That's no surprise. Mac Jones is there at number 8. And as you might notice on your screen, the first 9 players all play offense, which is, I think, very much in keeping. Junior.
Mel. Ten years in the NFL.
Well, yeah, Tom Brady fits the mold, Dan, and Drew Brees fits the mold even at their age. And I think you think about competition, only 17 career took command of that offense down there. So I think he's the kind of guy. And I thought about New England, Belichick connection with about that situation. If he drops past there, would New England be in play for Mac Jones because of that connection with Saban and Belichick?
To be very specific, though, about Dan's question, what he's referring to is the lack of mobility that all the other quarterbacks we see in this first round.
Correct.
That second threat. When I watch Mac Jones play,
Joe Burrow running in the football and beating teams with his legs. But if you go back to that at their own 35-yard line where he was the 40-45-yard line and led them to a touchdown drive to make it a 3-score game. So when he needed Mac Jones was able to do that. So passers who don't run a great long once again this year.
Dan, button that with a quick thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, hopefully. It's Russell, it's Andrew Luck, it's Josh Allen, it's Deshaun Watson. Like, those are the best quarterbacks drafted in the last 10 years. So, all that stuff, because the reality is to play really good football in the NFL and not have that mobility, you have to be an absolute superstar at those other levels.
Okay. So we'll leave that one there because I want to get everyone a question in. Chris Canty, go ahead. What's your
driven league and not have the guys that get after the quarterbacks not be in the top half of the first round? In your mock draft, you don't have a defensive lineman in the top 20 picks.
today. But I think you look at about the guy who took his place, and his number 15 was Jalen Phillips coming from UCLA, but there was the concern about durability there with him. Here's a guy we think will be a great pass rusher. Didn't have a sack at Penn State, so that's why, Chris, to answer your question, there's some talent pushed him down a bit.
Yeah, sometimes a premium position doesn't have the right players to fit into that mold. All right, Diana.
Car after I've been driving the same one for the last 20 years almost. That's my first question. And my second is, we heard what John Lynch had to say about Jimmy Garoppolo, saying he's got no doubts that he's going to be the.
I think it's, I wouldn't say highly likely. I think it's certainly a possibility, depending upon whether they want to move up, Diana, to go get that quarterback, whether it's Justin Fields. They're going to go get these guys because you're not going to see it next year in that quarterback grouping. So I think a Trey Lance or a for you. How's that?
Big money Mel!
My car's got 185,000 miles on it. This thing is on its last little leg here, so I love him.
Yeah, something good for you, Diana. We'll make that.
Kyle Pitts at number 4, but the reality is quite the opposite. As we watch football today, there is no more valuable piece to have on your offense. A Travis Kelce-esque kind of offensive weapon.
Special. The matchup nightmare we know about, but he's an inline tight end. He's a receiver. Our chase wide receiver is because you can get some really good receivers, wideouts in round 2. You're going to get nobody close to Kyle Pitts in round 2. Really good in round 2, round 3. You can pretty much be able to find that this year, I believe, because of the depth at that wide receiver position.
Well, and I think, Dan Orlovsky, Diana made the point earlier that no tight end has ever gone that high. But you were talking about how the game is changing. The game evolves constantly. And right now, Orlovsky, that position, the dominating receiving tight end, has never been more valuable.
Yeah, he's Travis Kelce. He's Travis Kelce-like of traits. And if you use him the right way, he becomes one of the more difficult players to defend. This guy's the best player in college football outside of Trevor Lawrence. I would say this, and this is maybe another question for Mel. As much as I love Kyle Pitts, one, I don't know if he's for me. Not necessarily does the player fit for the Jets scheme-wise, but can he excel for the Jets scheme-wise? Any soul for Kyle Pitts. I love Kyle Pitts, but how could they pass up that elite offensive tackle?
Mel, I have 15 seconds.
It out. He didn't play, and I think they have a guy they drafted in the first round, Mekhi Becton at left tackle last year. So I don't think you want to get too much money at the tackle spot. Go for the tight end. He's more than a tight end. He's a receiving entity.
All right, we'll leave it there for the moment. Much more on this is the Ron, but you know what? It might be close. We'll tell you why fans of the Lakers advice for the team, and he is not mincing words. You'll hear them.
We all have our own journey ahead of us, our own hopes, drive you to achieve even more. So celebrate everyone. Because success isn't just never stop arriving.
Did you know you can go to libertymutual.com to customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need?
Really?
In gaming? Then make a name for yourself. Even if your office and bank balance going up against this guy 100 times.
No.
Nope.
No.
No.
Intuit QuickBooks helps.
Sometimes the smallest gestures can
It's everywhere. It smells like my grandma. No.
Want to get away? Now you can. With fares starting at $50 one way, new destinations you want.
Filling me with dread.
So many options. What's the right razor?
so much back hair. Should I get lasers?
You got questions. We got answers. Now it's all here.
King of cold cuts, the sandwich. John's, and I have high quality, reasonably priced sandwiches. Big deal. You got all that. This is war. Sandwich war.
Me. My symptoms were keeping me from being there. And Humira helps people achieve remission that can last, so you can experience few or no symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infection reactions and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastro.
It's NBA on ABC time. Mavs, Nets, Clippers, Bucks on ABC.
Home against the Lakers and LeBron trying to three, and the Jazz open up a 13 in front of that. Big part of that. 18 points off the bench for him. Jazz up 16 at the break, and they would not look back. And Gobert throws it down. Watch this one again. The Jazz a 22-point lead. Gobert had 18. About this, bam! He throws 89. The Jazz with a statement win. LeBron James after the game.
It's a tough stretch for us, but for the long haul, that's for sure. Beat our ass tonight, but in the playoffs, it's a different story.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Lakers are now 5-5 without Anthony Davis. They've lost 4 straight, and Dennis Schroeder has missed all those games as well. But let's talk about the level of concern, and let's bring in the big fella to do it. Kendrick Perkins gets up with us early this morning. Big Perk, how worried?
Work and you go home and it's sunny outside and you get on your back patio and you take your nap back there. All the Lakers fans need to relax. One thing we should know is that as long as you have LeBron James, he will. Who's a guy that Anthony Davis being they need to add. We all know the shooting position. Maybe go out there and get a guy like Stay Ready. And then maybe go get a shot block. You're the champs, Greeny. I was the NBA champion. When you're the champ, you're going to get everyone best shot every single night. And they are missing 2 of them.
The Jazz, very quickly, because I have one other thing I want to get to. But the Jazz, because they don't have a lot of star power, don't get the kind of attention some of the others do.
Special, and they are serious, okay? And they could easily come Derek Favors. They have perimeter shooting and Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson. Is hate to play the Utah Jazz in the series and have to play a game 7 in Utah. This is not Stockton and Malone.
Talk about one other guy you might hate to play against. A lot of people. Now, take a look.
All know that he trains martial arts. So one thing about Big Perk,
Man.
Yeah, I didn't say. Either, all right?
Fair enough. Big Perk, thanks for getting. What a matchup we have for you on ABC. Luke starts with NBA Countdown, 8 Eastern and 5.
I'm looking.
He broke through.
Gosh it, did you know God?
Roll, chocolate, peanut butter cookie dough, scoop it. Chakalaka, shaka, scoop. Chakalaka, chakalaka, chakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
To America's #1 battery destination, AutoZone, your battery solution.
Oh.
Lovers get it.
Listen, I don't want to have this much fun.
Help save a river. Each pack restores 500.
Stuff makes us wary. That's what makes us equal.
Hulu doesn't just have
I love about Chick-fil-A's new grilled spicy deluxe is that grilled chicken that we all know. The flavor is just out of this world.
Hey, I'm Amber, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A grilled spicy deluxe is the chicken. This is not your traditional spicy chicken sandwich. You get the grilled flavor, seasonings, spices, married all together to this perfect sandwich. It's literally like fireworks in your mouth.
Build upon those legacies, to follow in those footsteps. Indeed, proudly supports those first steps. Because we know they won't.
Auntie, I'll ask you the same question. What are you doing with this guy?
Well, athletically, I can't do anything with him. You're talking about a man that's too for.
See, here's my fear. If I foul I'm 5'11" and 3/4. Man. There's no more weight.